In today's video, we're going to talk about what it means when a seller has their property listed in the MLS as is. As is can mean a lot of things depending on the situation, and it really depends on what the seller's intent is. Doesn't necessarily mean the house is in bad condition, but it usually means that the seller, for some reason or another, is not really wanting to make any repairs. In the situation where the property is a foreclosure property and is listed by the lender or the bank or maybe the government in the situation where it's a HUD home or an FHA home, what that normally means is that they really don't do any repairs. You know, they have no intention of doing repairs. It's sold strictly as is. You are allowed to inspect the property, but they normally do not provide any kind of inspection on the property, nor do they disclose much about the condition of the property themselves. So that's truly a situation where it's as is, and you really can't expect any repairs to be made. But that's certainly one of the biggest reasons why you for sure want to do a home inspection on a foreclosure property. Now, sometimes though, it's a seller, maybe they don't have the money to make repairs. Maybe they don't have available cash, so they just don't want to make any repairs. It makes it hard for them to do so if they don't really have the money to pay for the repairs. And sometimes, even if they can't pay for repairs, sometimes you can get a credit or some kind of money for for repairs at the closing table. But anyway, in some cases, sellers just don't have any money and they don't really have any intention of making any repairs. But at least in that case, they will provide the seller's disclosures showing what the condition of the property is. Then sometimes we have another situation where they just don't want to make anything. They don't want to be bothered with it. They don't know any people to actually make repairs. They're not capable of actually doing any of the repairs themselves. So when they list their property as is, that really means they just don't really want to do anything just because they don't have the skills necessary, nor do they know the people who have the skills necessary. In that condition, normally I've found that usually if there's problems with either maybe the plumbing or the electrical, sometimes the heat and air, something like that, maybe they will go ahead and make the repairs because they feel like they ought to be providing at least the property that has some of those things in good working order. But basically, those are the typical three situations when a property is listed as is. As I said, it's not a reason not to buy a property that's listed that way, but it is a reason to move forward with caution. Make sure you get a good home inspection by a good reputable company, and make sure that you take into account the condition of the property whenever you make the offer. And maybe if the property doesn't check out very good on the home inspection, maybe if they won't do repairs, maybe you can use that fact to maybe negotiate a little bit better price so that you can make those repairs after you make your purchase. If you have any questions about the home buying process, anything to do with not only the inspections, but also your home loans, anything like that, we're always here to help. Feel free to call me anytime. You can reach me at 405-210-5319. And by the way, I'm Kyle Noe with First United Realty. I've been here in the OKC metro area for 32 years now helping buyers buy homes. And if you need some help, I'd be glad to help you. Thanks for checking out the video, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye-bye.